My name is Chris Ramsey, and welcome to The Shift, presented by murphysmagic.com. What up, family? Chris Ramsey here, and welcome back to another edition of The Shift, presented by murphysmagic.com. This week on The Shift, we got two brand new effects to hit the market, and both of which are extremely cool looking. We'll take a look at that in a second, but first let's get into the winners of last week's contest. Last week we were giving away two amazing prizes once again, and the winner of that is Ruben Tyree. Congratulations, Ruben. Hit us up, facebook.com/murphysmagicsupplies. Send us a message and we'll get that out to you ASAP. Remember to win this week's effects, simply like this video, comment below what you thought of the effects and or the show, and we'll choose one lucky winner to take home these prizes next week. So good luck. Alright, first of all, I want to give a little bit of a shout out to my friend Shin Lim, who is going through some tough times. He actually severed a tendon on one of his fingers recently, on his thumb, and obviously he's got a lot going for him these days, a lot of TV spots and a lot of shows and stuff like that, so wishing him a speedy recovery. Good luck, Shin Lim. I hope you get better, buddy. Alright, this week on The Shift we're looking at two products. We are going to start with Token by SANSMINDS, and following it up by Torque by World Magic Shop. These are completely really cool looking tricks, and we'll get into that right now. Have a look at a quick performance I did for the camera of Token, and we'll talk about it after this. So that was Token. Basically what you do is you have a straw, you shrink the straw visually into your hands and hand out this beautiful origami heart, which can be inspected, which the spectator can keep and cherish and hold on to. A great keepsake and a great souvenir. I love souvenir tricks. I love tricks that leave the spectator with a magical object, and such an organic object is a straw that can be found nearly anywhere nowadays, whether you're at a bar, restaurant, or just at the coffee shop, or anywhere really. What I like about this project is they do teach you how to make an actual origami heart, which is not hard at all. Using two straws, very simple, no glue required, no tape, none of that. So I do believe that this already exists. They didn't come up with this concept. You can probably check that out online somewhere, how to make those. But what they did come up with is how to vanish a straw very cleanly and turn it into a heart, which is great. Now, the straw, the trailer might be a little bit misleading. The straw cannot be borrowed. It has to be a prepped straw, the one that you turn into. However, you can switch it out. You can do that type of thing. But I think even planting it somewhere is a good idea, and it's probably just as organic. The build takes about 1.5 to 2 minutes. Very easy. I was surprised how easy it was to build. I have this little heart here, and look how clean these look. Check that out. Very, very neat. Very clean. And you can hand that out. So you can have a few of these in your wallets ready to go. They do teach a method that doesn't require the setup that they recommend. I don't particularly like it. I like this setup for the visual effect. I don't like the setup for the practicality. And although they say if you're a worker, there's audience management, etc., I don't think this is something that I would perform in a live setting for a lot of people if the pressure's on, just because things could go wrong and there are certain angles you have to be aware of. That being said, this is a great visual moment if you're going to do that one-on-one and have it prepped. What you get in here is everything you need to vanish the straw and turn it into this, which is really cool. So a complete project, pretty cool. I think they could have probably found a easier way to vanish that straw, but that might be up to you once you get this DVD and to have a look, and maybe you can come up with your own way of vanishing it. But I do think it's a really cool idea to take a straw, have it shrink down, and turn into this, and to give this out. This is a really, really cool piece of magic. So good job. Check out Token by SANSMINDS. Next up, by our friend across the lake, this is Torque. Had a little bit of a torque happen in my box here, but no worry. What you get inside is you get this sweet little bag. You know what? Let's have a look at the performance before we get into that. Check out Torque by World Magic Shop, and we'll talk about it after this. So that was torque. Basically a fork bending effect, but not only a fork bending effect, probably the most ridiculously impossible fork bending effect. You can not only twist the fork, bend the fork, you can not only bend the prongs, you can twist the prongs and then bend the end of the fork. All things which would be incredibly difficult to do in a normal situation without any extra props. They do give you an extra prop, which is amazing and concealed very conspicuously and very well. It comes in this little satchel here. It's a really, really well-made prop. This is something they put a lot of time and effort into making, into constructing. This will probably last you forever, and once you have it on you, you'll probably want to take it everywhere you go. Because I'm an advocate for this type of stuff. I don't do any metal bending, which is why I showed you the trailer. But this makes me want to get into it for multiple reasons. First of all, every time I show up to a restaurant or to a bar and I show somebody a trick, one of the first things they say, if they've seen magic, is, we had this guy the other day, he took a fork and it just started bending on his fingertips or a spoon or whatever. I think metal bending is one of the strongest effects you can do for a spectator at a restaurant or a situation where you have utensils. So by just that reason alone, it's enough for me to get started on this and to have a look. I didn't have time to play around with it enough for, you know, a camera performance as good as they did, so I let you see what they did. But in the future, I'll definitely be using this. I'm gonna try this out. This is incredible. The gimmick is really, really easy to use. It's natural, it's organic, and you're left clean, basically. You're left with just the fork, which is really impossible. You get a bunch of routines taught on this. This is a really, really excellent project, well put together. You get a link here, basically, that takes you to all the routining and the extra bonus hand links, all that type of stuff in psychology. It's a very, very complete project. I love this thing. See how this thing here called a scorpion bend, which is like the tail of it. You have the tine bend, which is like just the bending of the prongs. Then you have the prong twist, the tine twist, which is phenomenal. So torque, fork destruction, probably one of the best things out there, in my opinion, but what do I know, in terms of fork bending. I think this is great. So check this out, Torque by World Magic Shop. All right, folks, that about wraps it up for me. While you're watching this, I'll actually be in Miami. I got a gig coming up in Miami, and I'll be chilling there for a couple days, so getting out of this weather. It's actually snowing right now again. FML, and hopefully I'll get to have some footage down there, maybe hang with some magicians if I see any of them around, and I will bring you that next week. But until then, have a safe weekend for what's left of it, and we'll see you then. Peace.